Greetings, Mantua Township. Mayor Bob Zimmerman here with Volume 16 of the Mayor's Message. I'm here with Chief Darren White, Lieutenant Brian Hauss at the far end of the table, and Detective Sergeant Rob Layton, all from the Mantua Township Police Department. We're here to talk a little bit about some of the proactive efforts of the police department. They actually handled over 20,000 calls for service last year, made 628 arrests, issued over 1,800 motor vehicle summonses, handled close to 2,000 investigation reports, and investigated close to 500 motor vehicle accidents. Arrests are up 48% between 23 and 22. And our motor vehicle stops in proactive policing are up about 33%, which is certainly validating the assertiveness of the police department's services under the young administration and staffing. So Chief, could you tell us a little bit about what's going on from an administrative end?
Yeah, sure. Over the past year, we've hired 7 full-time officers. These are due to retirements that have occurred over the past couple of years. We've hired 3 Class 1 officers. We have another Class 2 officer scheduled to begin the academy soon. And what this allows us to do is put officers in positions doing things that they want to do and being more proactive. And we have a whole lot of new guys that want to get out there and they want to be proactive. So that's one of the reasons why the numbers appear higher.
Real quick, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, Chief, for one of the things we implemented was a lateral transfer program. This police department, for the residents that don't know, we're a fully established, fully functional police department, highly professional, and we're not a training ground here. So we created a lateral transfer program to entice other officers that have seasoning and experience and strong educational backgrounds to come and apply here from other communities, not only in Gloucester County, from around the state. And we've been successful in enticing officers to come in. I believe we hired how many of those last year with experience?
Well, we've hired seven full-time. I don't know off the top of my head how many were actual laterals.
I think there was about 5.
Okay, 4 were laterals from other departments.
Yeah.
4 were laterals from other departments. And they were brought over based on a variety of things, depending on education, the amount of time that they served in those other departments, and a few other quantifiers that we chose that we thought were important.
Lieutenant Hauss, you have some statistics that you wanted to share relative to the department and aspects of this conversation you'd like to contribute to?
Yes, sir. Like you said, this was the busiest year for calls for service for Mantua Township Police. However, the calls, 911 calls, crime calls are not busier. This is still a very safe community to live in. But with new, young, spry officers out patrolling, we're really hitting our speeding enforcement on our troubled roadways, Center Street, Mantua Boulevard, making a lot of motor vehicle stops for our speeding enforcement. Where things were in 2021, 2022, where we were making a lot of disorderly persons arrests for marijuana and traffic warrants, the state has changed those laws where we can't do that, so the guys have found other avenues to stay busy while they're at work, and that's what we want, guys being busy for their 12-hour shift. This is one of the first years in many years that I can report that we had no fatal accidents in Mantua Township. It's been a long time, right, Chief, since we can really report that, and that's by our officers being out there enforcing, slowing people down, enforcing speeding, and enforcing motor vehicle laws, and we can, that's a direct credit to good proactive police work. With the help of Detective Sergeant Layton, we've kind of come up with an initiative to combat our retail theft issues that we've had in Mantua Township. We have 4 huge big box stores, Home Depot, Kohl's, Target, and Lowe's. In the beginning of 2023, Detective Sergeant Layton kind of took it upon himself to get with loss prevention agents and as well as a conglomerate of other detective bureaus throughout Gloucester County and Camden County, and they developed basically a retail theft task force, and he can go in on that. But a lot of our younger officers have bought in on that, have liked eradicating the crime that's coming to our town and hitting those areas and being more proactive in the retail theft. And just in December of 2023, we had 19 reported shoplifting, 17 of them were solved. What I really attribute it to is between myself, Lieutenant Murphy, Lieutenant Hayes, and obviously Chief White, we're instilling a culture in our department where the guys are taking pride in Mantua Township, taking pride in the department, and they're kind of setting the bar that if you come here to Mantua, you commit a crime, you're going to get found, you're going to get locked up.
You made a very valid and legitimate point. Like I had said earlier, those numbers are certainly deceptive when we say last year was the busiest year in the history of the township. A lot of that is certainly a credit to the department for the proactive policing measures and initiatives that have been occurring over the last year in particular, but even before that. So, I can certainly say from my perspective, and coming from a prior law enforcement background as a police chief, we do have one of the safest communities in the area, and it's because of the efforts of the police department. So, Detective Sergeant Layton, could you provide us some further information relative to what your department is doing, the Detective Bureau, is doing to help our cause with keeping the community safe and chasing the bad guys, so to speak, out of Mantua Township?
Absolutely. So what we're doing is we're allowing some of our younger officers, newer officers to partake in different information sharing meetings, different task forces. We're trying to combat the crimes head on. An auto theft task force, we're allowing the younger officers to go and attend meetings, try to look how to deter from having auto thefts in our town. They can go out to our box stores, they can try to deter people from shoplifting, they can work in an undercover capacity alongside loss prevention associates, and what that does is it gets them knowledge in something else other than a traffic enforcement. It gets them incentive of doing something else other than the day-to-day work.
What these groups have is the same people that are coming to our stores and committing shopliftings are the same people that are doing car burglaries, the same people doing residential burglaries, the same people that are stealing cars. Maybe this person hit Walmart in Berlin, or hit a Target in Deptford, or the Dick's in Deptford, and we're allowing our patrol officers as well as our detective bureau to information share. So now when that person does come to town, or we do see them, or we do get a video. In fact, we just had a string of car burglaries right before Christmas in the Rosewood development from Detective Krieger, and our other officers were able to just look at a picture of a guy from a surveillance footage, and identify and make an arrest.
And some of the motor vehicle theft stuff has to do with these new fobs and the way new cars work. And I think it's important that people understand that if you keep your key as far as you possibly can away from an exterior wall of your house, then these thieves are going to have less of a chance of getting into your car. What they do is use a relay attack, where one person will stand near your house with a box, they'll read the code, they'll transmit that code to somebody else standing near your car, and from then on, they'll have access to it. So if you keep your car key either in a Faraday bag, it's called, or at least somewhere not near the exterior wall of your house, you have a much less chance of them breaking into your car.
We live in an extremely safe community here, and a big part of that is because of these gentlemen that are sitting to my left and the efforts put forth by them and the staffing beneath them in the Mantua Township Police Department. The police department is doing everything in their power to eradicate the criminal element in our community, and we'll continue to do that. The Township Committee, myself, will continue to provide them with the resources necessary so they're able to do that, to keep our community safe. And to the criminals, like Lieutenant Hauss says, I can assure you that if you come to Mantua and you commit a crime here, you can expect to be arrested and you can expect to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. That's a fact. These gentlemen and the men and women of the department are doing a phenomenal job. I commend them for their efforts, and I look forward to what's to come in the future under this leadership team. And as always, I want to thank everybody for watching, and I look forward to continuing our service here with honesty, integrity, and trustful leadership. Thank you.